Hey there, this is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. Happy Women's History Month. It is the first Wednesday in March, and I know I've been away for a little bit, but it's been really busy out here in these writing streets and filmmaking streets. So the movie making is going forward. We've got some producers. We'll be looking at actors real soon. So for those of you who have supported, thank you again. It is moving forward. But being that it's Women's History Month, I couldn't let the month go by without jumping in here. And I wanted to share a story. Many of you have been seeing it. I remember hearing about it a year or two ago now, but just thought it was important to just share this story because I think, I wanted to pose a question to you because, there may be an incredible story of perseverance and determination in your family as well. As we know, many of our stories have been hidden. Many stories of women and people of color have been, erased. And so we wanted to just highlight this wonderful, remarkable woman to you today on this first Wednesday for Write It Out. So I wanted to share about Bridget Biddy Mason. The first part I want to share is that one, she was an enslaved woman in this country, born in 1818. And the thing that really stood out to me was that when her enslavers decided to follow the Mormon religion and Brigham Young in particular to Utah, she walked from Mississippi to Utah. Walked, y'all. Some people don't walk across the street. They get in their cars. They don't walk to the mailbox. They don't walk to the store. They ride. Okay, this woman walked from Mississippi to Utah. Okay, just hearing that when I was just in shock. Like, are you kidding me? But again, what time are we looking at? The history, the things that were going on. And not only did she walk there, but then they went to California after that. So if she was part of a caravan full of other cattle and goods and services and still had to walk, then of course, when they went to California next, she was walking there as well. But the story doesn't end there. So as they say, and there's still more. Because when they got to California, which was a free state compared to Utah, she, along with some people who saw her and others who were a part of that caravan, helped them to successfully petition for her freedom. And she ultimately not only became a free woman, but a prominent businesswoman and philanthropist in LA. Okay. So you're talking about going from here to here, to come up. I started at the bottom down here, as Drake said. It's like Bridget Biddy Mason definitely had the ultimate come up, one of the most remarkable ones that we have read to date. And again, I'm sure there are many others. And not only did she do that, hey, my dear, how you doing, Rocio? Good to see you. I know. What are you up to? Have you finished yet? I'm here to check on you, my dear. But anyway, we're talking about Biddy Mason here, and a remarkable woman for Women's History Month. And you are a remarkable woman here in Women's History Month too. But the second thing I wanted to lift up about Biddy Mason was that not only did she secure her own freedom and start her own businesses, but she helped build bridges and empower others. And that's one of the things that we often have to think about. Not only do you need to help yourself, but are you able to help someone else? It's not enough for you to only move forward, but can you reach back and bring someone else with you? And as she was one of the first African-American women to own land in Los Angeles, okay? And with that land, she used her resources to empower others, from property to rentals to so many other things. And one of the other things she's known as is a founding member of the first African Methodist Episcopal Church called FAME, which we know about today. And she provided support and assistance to those in need. She dedicated her life to lifting up others and building bridges of opportunity for future generations. And then the last thing that I really want to highlight, because it can be a part of all of our stories, is that, she had courage and perseverance. She did not let the circumstances of her birth in this country determine where she saw herself. Because so many times what we do in life, is determined by what we see ourselves doing. That, words are important. What we speak out of our own mouth, what we believe about our own selves is key to how we're able to move forward. And so if you say a certain thing about yourself, that may very well be the way that situation turns out. And so Biddy did not say that I'm a slave forever. She did not say that this is my lot. Oh, well, no, she's like, you know what? That might have been what they did to me. But what I see myself doing is becoming a philanthropist, founding churches, helping people build businesses, building my own, becoming rich, owning property. And, her family legacy now, I think one story was she shared that one of her great grandchildren shared it in the school, and the teacher was like, that's not true. And her mother came in to say, no, this is true. This is our family. We heard about it our whole life. And so that's what I wanted to kind of uplift even in you. If there's some stories in your family, some stories that, you just kind of heard, as a child, but as you got older, you were like, you know what? I think that I need to look that up. Like, I have an uncle who was part of the Friendship Nine in Rock Hill, South Carolina. They integrated lunch counters in 1961. He was 18 years old. And so that's history, and now 50 years, it took 50 years before that story came out, but it made it all the way to MSNBC and ABC News. So when it came out, at least it finally did in a big way. But the thing about it, understanding how we are not defined by our circumstances, but instead we can choose to forge our own path and create a lasting legacy of hope and resilience as she did. So what about you? I am so blessed that I've gotten to work with so many amazing women and men who have written their stories, whether, many of them have been nonfiction, writing about their own personal journeys, but many have ventured into other genres. We've got fiction and children's books, among others. And so I just wanted to highlight, what's in your family history. Are you that person? Are you that woman who is making that impact? And the thing is, don't sleep on it. Don't hide it. Don't put it under a bushel, but let that light shine, because people need to hear about it. People need to know. And, I have always believed that one person can make a difference. She was one person who can make a difference. I know I'm one person and I've made a difference in different people's lives. So also know that even if you don't have the support you think you need, just get started. Just like with the book. Right. Start with one page or one computer screen and just get started. It's like, that's how anything goes, that gets accomplished. You have to start somewhere. So I've written 4 books because I started. I'm working on my first film because I at least put pen to paper. I at least started with a story. So what about you? What's your story? What is the thing that you need to get started doing? This Women's History Month, make some history yourself, and even if it's not this month, get started, whether today or tomorrow, but tomorrow's never promised. So today is always the best time to get started doing anything. And so I just want to salute Miss Biddy Mason, the legacy that she has left for her family and for all the women out here who are making a difference. There's so many women, and, there was a time where women had to change their name, use pen names, use male names, to work in professions that were dominated or that was set aside for just men. They didn't think women needed to be writers or many other things. But we know that women have always been a part of every change in the world. And so we just want to highlight Miss Biddy Mason. And I want you to think about those in your family or yourself. I'm sure you've made a difference, even if it was just a hug, a handshake, a word of encouragement, a card you sent. I know my mom was famous with family members and friends because they were like, where did you get this card, Miss Mary? That it just touched their heart. It made a difference. So, it doesn't have to be much. It can just be a nod. It can be a look. It can be a smile. It can be a card in the mail, or it can be your story. So think about how you're going to make some history this month, and I will see you soon. All right. So take care. Thanks again, Rocio, for coming in and checking me out tonight. And I will see you all soon. Have a good evening. Bye.